I spent 13 years in the army, 10 years active service. But in 2006, December 6, 2006 it was, I was a commander of a recovery team. We went in to rescue a vehicle with 6 people on board. As we went into the area, we came under quite a heavy fire. It was quite a hectic period. And one of the vehicles basically, its engine had cut out. It basically became a shooting practice for the insurgencies in southern Basra. So I took my crew in, we hooked up their vehicle to my vehicle, and then as we went to extract out the area, as the other vehicles pulled out that were putting covering fire for us, the dust kicked up. We couldn't see what was going on. So I put my head out the top of the turret to make sure it was clear, shouted clear, go, and then as I pulled my head back in, I just felt a massive smack on the side of my face. I kind of knew what had happened in the sense of I knew how the injury had occurred, but I was completely oblivious to how much damage had actually been done. Fortunately, because I wasn't knocked out, I was able to do my own first aid for 20-25 minutes. Because of where the round went in, it entered my left cheek here and exited my right cheek there. It just dissolved my cheekbones, broke my jaw in 4 places, and did other internal damage which didn't come to light until a lot later on. My palate collapsed, so I was suffocating, so I had to hold my palate up with my thumb in my mouth, and then I had to sort of try and bandage up my face, which apparently I didn't do a very good job of. I was under the impression it was a few stitches, a couple of weeks in hospital chatting up nurses, and then back out doing my job, and obviously I was very wrong. Once I got to Basra Palace, I climbed out of the vehicle, and at that point I started to panic. I punched the first 2 people that came to help me. 6 more jumped on me, strapped me onto a stretcher, and I woke up 3 weeks later in Birmingham. So I woke up Christmas Eve in Birmingham, 2006, to a guy using very big words that I didn't understand, that basically told me I'd lost my left eye completely, and there was very little hope of retaining any sight at all in my right eye. Well, when I actually heard, figured out what the doctors were saying, and it came to light that I'd lost my sight, I didn't hear the words, "You've lost your sight." What I heard was, "Your life is over." Everything that I had was taken away from me, my career, my job, my life, and all I could focus on at that point was what I'd lost, and the fact that I was going to be now a dependent, and need, care for the rest of my life, which obviously at 28 is just soul destroying. Well, I was told about Blind Veterans UK while I was in the hospital. It was kind of final signing up to a blind charity. That's me admitting that I was going to be blind. So we kind of ignored them for a year. And for a year I was trying to find my own way, work out what I was doing, and try and sort a few bits out. Obviously, my family was supportive, my community was supportive. But within a year, I kind of hit all the ceilings I thought I had. And again, that was just another bout of depression. That I'm now 29, and I've got no more goals, nothing else to aim at. And that's when Blind Veterans UK sort of re-engaged through a welfare officer, and has started opening more doors and giving me more opportunities. When I was invited out to Sheffield, it's difficult. I think I was very non-committal in the way I felt about going. I didn't want to give myself any expectations to be let down. But then again, I wanted to go there fairly open-minded, so that I didn't shut down any sort of offers that came my way. And from the second I walked in the door, I was just impressed. The staff were great. They were very understanding. For the first time, somebody came up to me and introduced themselves as a name and told me what was going to happen, rather than just coming up and grabbing me. And then and then the instruction part of it again was very understanding. It was very sort of empathetic. There wasn't that element of sympathy which sometimes can become quite annoying. It was a case of, this is what's available. I'm going to teach you how to do it. You can either pay attention or not. And that's, I was treated just as a person, and I think for the first time I was treated by people that understood what it meant to someone to be visually impaired or blind, and you kind of thought, actually, yeah, these people know what they're doing. Well, the first things that I sort of was introduced to and got involved with at the centre was a CCTV, which was basically it's a camera with a huge screen that you're able to zoom in and zoom out, change the colour and contrast. And what that actually did was it gave me the ability to read my own mail, which I'd not been able to do for the last year. You know, I'd had to get people around to read letters to me and or read out bills, bank statements, things like that. And the amount of dignity it gives you to be able to read your own mail is phenomenal. I was shown that there was software that would allow me to actually get back on the internet, keep in touch with some old friends. At the time, obviously, I was a bit nervous about going out on my own. So things like internet shopping gave me more options to get decent food in and do proper shops rather than rely on takeaways. And then the other thing was just speaking to other people about little techniques about how to make a cup of tea without burning your feet. And there was just all these little things that came together and made it really impressive and a really motivating experience in full. Getting home from Sheffield, obviously, I got home with an air of anticipation and a bit more enthusiasm, knowing that all of a sudden there were new pathways open to new doorways sort of thing. And all of a sudden, in my own home, I was able to do all the stuff that I was able to do in the centre. And it was just that boost of confidence that I needed at that point. It just made me a bit more excited about what I could do next. Instead of sort of sat there thinking, you know, this is the end, I'm sat there thinking, well, what can I do with this? Where can I take this next? Blind Veterans UK helped me out with the bathroom. The one I had was very white, it's very sterile, and there's no points of reference, no depth perception for me. It's actually quite dangerous. So what they did was they issued a grant for a wet room, so that it was a walk-in shower, obviously with different colours in there, so that it was a lot easier for me to pick out the contrast and work out where things were in the room, and made it obviously a lot more safe for me to navigate the bathroom. Last thing I wanted to do after surviving being shot in the head was to just fall and crack my head in the bath. So yeah, it was certainly very useful, and I was very grateful for that support at that time. Well, the confidence that came from Blind Veterans UK and the first visit that I had to Sheffield made me want to start doing things, made me want to get up in the morning and actually do something more useful than watch sort of daytime telly. And what I did was I went to a local organisation that helps disengaged children and disadvantaged kids, and started volunteering as a mentor and instructor. And from that, I was then able to go to college and train as a teacher, which obviously the support from Blind Veterans UK was useful in that because I had access to computers, which meant I could do the sort of coursework and things like that and the research I needed to do. And then I took that forward into doing, you know, a bit more work with young offenders and stuff like that. Everyone says, "Oh, you're really good helping people out," but that wasn't the case. It's helping myself. You know, when I felt I'd helped somebody else, it lifted me that actually I'm not that pathetic, I'm not that useless, you know, and I felt like I had purpose again. It's a strange thing to wonder where I'd be now. I'd like to say that I had the strength and support around me to rebuild my life at some point, but I know for a fact that I wouldn't have done it in the timescale I have done it. You know, I was back on my feet and in full-time work within 5 years of coming out of a coma. I think that's an element of a lot of the people I speak to within the organisation, that they feel that support has come in a really quick and short time, so that they're able to start enjoying the changes that have been made in their life. Well, the beauty of Blind Veterans is that it's there for life. You're a member for life. So whether you need lots of support in the beginning and nothing at all, and then something later on, I know I can come back if I need more support. And obviously, as I get older, you know, I move past retirement age and things like that. There's going to be other physical problems, you know, as generally happens when you get older, and I might need more support and more help then. Or as technology adapts, I'm going to need more training. And knowing that I've got that safety net that I can always go back to one of the centres and do some more training, find out what's new and how to readapt, or if I decide to take a new career path and I want some help and support there, that I know I can get it. And that's the thing, whether you need help straight away or whether you just want them as a safety net for a bit, they're always there at the end of a phone when you need them. Personally, I would say to anybody that's out there that has got any form of military service behind them and now is suffering from any form of sight loss for whatever reason, get involved, ring us up, ask the question.